In athletics and in the world today, we allow the world to consume us. And if you don't know who you are internally, the world or that job will make you what it want to be. So if you don't know who you are, you don't know your purpose, understand your burn or your why, you'll be lost. You won't be able to help anybody else. We were put on this earth. God created us to build his kingdom. Every single talent, everything that I've been through, every person I've met, every experience I've had, they were part of my path, but they were put in my life.
We're so very fortunate to have three phenomenal partners of the podcast. Play, Rock Daisy, and Output are all companies that I've worked with for many years and fully endorse. Make sure that you support them when you can, or let them know when you see them how much you appreciate them being part of this podcast. Hey guys, welcome back to the CEO Strength Coach podcast. I'm your host, Ron McKeefery, and I'm joined by a great friend of mine, Gus Felder. Gus is the director of football player development at the University of Nebraska. We go way back. If you've not watched the Beyond the Chalk episode I did with Gus, that's a must watch. Just seeing him with his family and how he goes about doing his business and how he goes about coaching. I mean, many stops at strength and conditioning, Penn State, Miami. And he's an author now, Inside the Game, Mastering the Art of Strengthening and Leading Men. And if you know anything about Gus, you know that that's something that's important to his heart. And he lives it. So appreciate you being on the show, man.
Oh man, thanks for having me again, man. I love your platform. I love what you do for people, not just for the game, not for strength and conditioning, but for people in college athletics. And any of you guys out there watching this show, you don't know who this man is on the screen. Come on, Ron McKeefery. You need to go stop what you're doing, put your Instagram down, get out of your own feeling, go research and see what type of people we have in this industry that can help you be a better person and a better coach.
Appreciate that, brother. Well, I want to I don't want to do the typical your story type thing, but I want to go back and go into you've lived the athlete to coach transition, right? And firsthand, and those early experiences really helped shape kind of the person that you are today. So kind of talk a little bit about that philosophy that you have in managing people now, both as a coach, but also in your current role.
Yeah, man. But just like as a coach in the current role, the biggest thing we got to understand and know, you see it, you understand it. But I asked Joe Paterno this question years ago. This was 2009 when I came back to Penn State in a graduate assistant role, and I asked him, how'd you become so successful? What does it take to be successful? And the first thing he said to me, he said, Gus, treat your players the way you want to be treated as a player. And I never forgot that. So without all these jobs, everything, everybody's trying to get the next best logo, the next best thing, but they're missing one aspect of it. They're wanting to get these jobs for self-recognition and self-accolade, but they're missing the main point about it, and that's the kids, that's the people. What happens when the game's going to stop? What's going to happen when football's over with? We have coaches that are coaching right now, and they only talk to players that's playing for them. They won't talk to the players that are down the roster. They don't talk to the players at the bottom of the roster. We have strength coaches in the game right now, only want to train the top-tier athletes in there. They're the ones, they're the easy ones to train. They don't want to train the ones that can't functionally move, the ones that can't squat properly, the ones that can't bench properly. They don't want to train those guys. They want to throw them to an intern. But they missed the thing they missed. I'll say that because they missed the point that without the athlete, without the student athlete, without the student, none of these jobs exist. So my whole purpose in everything I'm doing is to give every athlete, every young coach, every coach, I want to give them everything I have, everything that God has given me to bless them, to make their experience better, to enhance their experience in the school that I'm at. That's it in a nutshell.
What's crazy is, you say that, and I think back to not too long ago, we had a coach that we had some things going on with the walk-on program, and it was the end of the season, and they didn't want to meet. They passed off the end of the year eval to their GAs. But for those walk-ons that have been giving them all this time and effort,
Yeah.
and I just went off on them. I couldn't believe it. I was like, you got to be kidding me. Like, and it always resonated with me. Just like, you look, when you train these guys every single day, you see their friendships, and that star running back, he may be the guy that everybody knows needs to freaking get that attention, but his best friend might be that third string freaking defensive back that he lives with.
Just helping them.
Yeah, that's helping him get through things, right? And if you treat him like crap, then that's it, man. You're not reaching either one of those kids.
Neither one of them. You lose out on both of them. You're right.
And it's such an important thing that you're saying there. You wrote up this book, recently, Inside the Game.
Yeah.
And you talk about mastering the inner game.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer. You and I are both faith-based guys. You got to know yourself before you lead others. And so, talk a little bit about
Yeah.
the motivation of the book and how
The
what faith
book.
you can take away from it.
Yeah, man. I mean, the book was just notes from one of my journals from 2021, and it goes back further there. Even some stuff that I pulled throughout my every. I write a lot, and I don't want to go pull a bunch of notebooks behind me, but I'm always about any thoughts I have in my head. I put them down. Something I've been doing for a long, long time, and I always kept them to myself. I always kept them to myself. Hidden from myself. So actually, the bulk of this book was written when I was at Carolina Panthers, 2021. Just sitting back and just reflecting on just my story and my life and what things I was going through, things we were dealing with, and I just put them down on paper. Here it is right here. This is says January 2021 right on top right here, and you open it up, and these pages that are folded right here goes right back to it's supposed to be an autobiography. It goes down, just keep listing everything. I do a little brainstorm. I'm old school, man. Brainstorm 1998, what happened there. So if you read the book, it goes in chronological order, like a timeline of my life, some really important parts of my life and how God was building me, strengthening me, and forging me in fire through all those experiences I went through and building my mind and how to deal with things. In athletics and in the world today, we allow the world to consume us. And if you don't know who you are internally, you've seen it before, Ryan. The world or that job will make you what it wants to be. You find a young coach coming out, know he wants to be, wants to run around and be like Ryan. No, slow down. I want you to be you. My staff that I had, every place I go, I don't want 5 or 6 Gus Felders running around because you can't reach everybody. We're outnumbered student athlete to coach ratio. And we got to reach every single person in that building to get the most out of them and give them the most. So if you don't know who you are, as you grow through life, you don't know your purpose, understand your burn or your why, you'll be lost. You won't be able to help anybody else. We were put on this earth. God created us to build his kingdom. Every single talent, everything that I've been through, every person I've met, every experience I've had, they were part of my path, but they were put in my life. Those things was given to me so I can bless somebody else coming along.
Yeah, it's such the statement you made there about, like you're not going to be able to reach everybody. I think is something that it took me a long time to figure that out. Like, early in my career, I was like, okay, I want to hire people that are like me because I think I'm a pretty good strength coach. So I want go-getters. I want people that, are lions, and if you've heard me speak, or even I think I might have wrote about this in the book, but like I give every coach, every athlete a personality profile like Gary Smalley, and you're either a lion, otter, beaver, retriever. And like you got to know who you are. And when you're young, you need to work on all those things, because just because I'm a lion, I can't completely abandon like budget and details and things like that, like a beaver, right? But so when you're young, you need to develop those things. But when you start to kind of put yourself in a position where you want to try to climb, you need to put yourself in positions where they need what you have and what you're authentically good at, and maximize your strengths. And I think that's so important, knowing who you are. And I think that, when you have convictions about your faith and just who you are, like you're able to go to work and lead because you're not faking something. You're not
You
trying to
can
be somebody you're not.
and you can lead from where you are, having your own personality, having your own stamp on things. I have a nice little unique staff here as well with my player development department, and all of us are different because you bring something different to the table that each player may need. You understand what I'm saying? Plus, I'm getting a little bit older. At the same time, I'm a youthful old head. That's what everybody. I'm a youthful old head. That's what they call me, and I love it. But the book is this is called The Inside Game. Be able to master your mind. And then strengthen your spirit. Okay, I use Stoic philosophy. I love Ryan Holiday. I love Stoic philosophy. I love Marcus Aurelius. I love my Bible. I don't go anywhere without it. Got them sitting right here, and I use my real life experiences. We've read books for years and years and years, read fables and all that stuff. And a lot of these writers, not knocking, they do a great job. They motivate me. They write about other people's stories. So I've taken all of my stories. I went to church a few years back, and one of the pastors was saying, "Your dash, what's your dash?" 1978 dash, whatever. God takes me home. What is your dash going to represent? And make sure you're the one telling your story. And I always thought, I talked about this. I was always you said, Gus, I'm proud of you for stepping out. I've always thought about, man, if I keep doing it, am I bragging about myself? I don't want to do that. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to, I want to be, have humble confidence. I think I'm the man in every room I walk in, no doubt about it. But at the same time, I'm not the one to get out there and say, hey, do this, do that, John Gordon came and told me this. Ben Newman came and told me this. My head football coach, Matt Rule, said this. Like, Gus, you're not bragging about yourself. You're telling God's purpose and God's story. So you should do it. And you said it, you probably did. I did it because of those men coming to my life saying, "Gus, you got to share these stories. These are people they is going to motivate somebody." And I'm still struggling with it. I'll share a Bible verse so fast on Instagram than anything else, like 2 or 3 a day. I have them scheduled throughout the day. I have one in the morning, midday, and then evening. But I got to work on getting
And
reaching out to people. But
anytime you put yourself out there, like it's hard because I mean, there's all the, especially in our world, right? Because you got fans that follow you, you got, your coworkers that follow you, you got athletes that follow you, and it's hard to let your mess out there, right? But I had a pastor, once say that your mess is your message, and what your message is what makes you authentically you. And by sharing that, like you're helping people that are maybe walking
yeah,
more walk that you're walking.
yeah,
And when you think about John Gordon, or you think about like John Maxwell or some of these authors, right, that are great, like not to say anything about any other profession, but like most of them were teachers or they were pastors or something. Like, why can't a coach be that person?
yeah. But we technically are. We really are at the end
That's
of the day.
exactly right. So I think there's a lot of coaches out there that are listening to this that have a book in them that needs to come out. I firmly believe that. But I want to move on here. You made this transition into player development. I think a lot of people, especially as we've aged in this profession, you and I are the old heads now, right? But a lot of people will say that, athletes have changed or the game has changed or, whatever. How have the needs of the athletes changed since you first started to now, and kind of how you're going about addressing that?
That's a great question. And this is what I say, and I really stand on it. I think the need of an athlete is more so to keep them grounded because so much is given to them. Now, I say that, also say this, I believe that our athletes should get more and get stuff. I do, because we were once athletes who struggled at the college level, at high school. So as far as not struggle, on a struggle financially, which causes to have some mental breakdown that we need to have. So now to get into now the flip side of that is we have to keep them grounded and keep them humbled and teach them how to manage these things that are given to them. The athlete's the athlete. Professional, high school, college, they're the same person. They just grow older. They get more mature. Hopefully they grow, you know, uh, at a mature state as a young man as they go through the process of going through college or what you want to see. I love seeing a freshman come in and watch him leave as a man. What I mean by that, not by his physical attributes, but by his mental attributes, how he conducts himself, how he's speaking, how he's articulating, how he's handling his business. That's what I love to see. And that's what we did in the weight room. We did in the weight room. Player development is what strength coach has been doing for a long, long time. You can talk to any athlete every Hall of Fame speech. One of those guys talked about their high school or college strength coach because it was so impactful because we seen that person every single day. JT, I love JT. My kids call JT Grandpa. JT that's my guy. I love him. I talk to him all the time. I'm always sharing stuff with him. I'm always gonna be grateful for him because even when my playing days were over, he was the guy that was there for me. He got to return my phone call. So, as far as the athlete training, I don't think much has changed forever. I think we just got to work now on managing guys' process of receiving so much, keeping them hungry, keeping them grounded. Because a lot of these guys are getting things they've never gotten before, never had before. So now we got to teach them. Brian Dawkins had a video put out years ago. His biggest thing he struggled with as an NFL rookie or NFL young player, or not when he was in his prime, was trying to manage and take care of all of his family members. He talked about taking his own life so his family could get the insurance money because that was the biggest thing about him. These are some of the guys at the top of his game, best in the world. The biggest thing he dealt with is pressures from outside resources, family and everything like that. That's what I got. That's the biggest difference that these guys deal with now versus what we dealt with, or back in, not what we were older, just back in 2019. I can go back to 2019 where guys didn't deal with, like, the pressures that these guys deal with now, and the young kids, 17 years old, have to deal with trying to raise a family, take care of family they're not responsible for. The family
Yeah.
should be taking care of you regardless of you. So I think just keeping guys grounded, and managing their mind is the biggest thing that changed from what's happening now in football versus what's happening just back in 2019, if that makes sense.
I think it makes complete sense. I think, the motivations behind the athlete have not changed from, they all want to improve their game. They all want to go to the next level. They all want to win, right? No, that's not changed. And that's easy to tap into. You're right. Managing that outside stress, which, that's really our job as strength coaches, managing stress, managing that outside stress is another big piece of that. And what I would always tell my athletes is I have you for 2 hours. You have 22 hours mess up everything. Like if I'm not a part of that other 22 hours in some type of way, or giving you skills to be able to attack those 22 hours, then I'm fighting a losing battle each and every day.
And that was my transition right there. You use it because I wanted to get out. Now I'm out there with the guys and making sure, let's go ahead.
Think you're I think it's natural, right? For the guys that they care about you off the field, care about you off the
Yeah.
field, right? That's just natural to us. But I think it's an important thing that you said for strength coaches to take away. A couple of things that you've said in there is like you need to stay in contact with your former athletes. That's going to make you a better coach. It's going to be something that's going to have a trickle down effect, you know, for the current guys, right? When they see you that you have a relationship with athletes that are maybe 3 years removed, 4 years removed, they know that they got you in your corner for the rest of their career, the rest of your career. That's important. What are some of the other strategies that you've used, or that you can take back and apply to the strength and conditioning world as well? But systems and strategies to kind of develop accountability. Like that's probably the number one thing now, because every athlete goes through, and coach for that matter. I went through it when I was at Tennessee. Like I didn't think my crap stunk when I went there. Like every athlete kind of goes through it. Or there's a period of immaturity where um, they want to test the boundaries a little bit, right? How do you go about kind of, and you and I both have dealt with a lot of times when we go to places, we get the problem childs.
Problem child. Yep.
We get the ones that don't want to listen to anybody because
Yep.
because because we usually have a way to tap into that.
And
What advice would you have for the strength coach to develop true accountability without it being just this
it
scream, yell, and cuss with us?
starts at the foundation of this thing, man. So you're gonna love hearing this. I hope you do. We got connected years ago by Dominique Curry, one of my players that was working with you back in the day. And it starts with building relationships. Now, building relationships not always, hey buddy, hey, no. It's about holding people accountable, being honest. As an athlete, I'm an athlete. You're an athlete. I wanted to be held accountable. I wanted to be loved. I wanted to be talked to. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to be, I wanted to be noticed. I want to, those things all play the same thing. And it goes back to when I was in my room. When I had my rooms at Miami, Cheney, Georgia, my guys like Georgia, it goes back to the relationship building aspect of it. And not just so where I'm the soft spot in the building. I'm not here to be a friend, for a small time. I want to be here to be a brother. So somebody's going to hold you accountable. At the same time, love you up and let you know why you're doing what you're doing wrong and how you can get better. I'm going to tell you the good. I'm going to tell you the bad. And what happens today is there are too many guys. I'm like I said, we're watching it. I'm, here, everywhere else we go, too many guys trying to be everybody's friend and not telling these guys the truth, especially if you get a top tier player that's supposed to be the best player on the team. But remember, this kid, he's a kid. He needs guidance. He needs direction. He doesn't need a bunch of buddies and friends stroking him and a bunch of yes men because he's a superior athlete and he's getting paid this amount of money. And so now you got to bow down to him. No, honor him by holding him accountable. If you're my real friends, that's all my real friends is. If I come in, y'all going to laugh. If I come into a room and I got hot breath and you don't tell me, you're not my friend. If I walk into a room and I got something on my face or hair and you don't tell me to get off my face, you're not really my friend. So be honest with me. Tell me the truth. I got thick skin. Stop trying to be everybody's friend. All right. Be a brother, a real brother. If you're your brother or your sister, you're going to hold them accountable you're going to hold them to a different standard. That's the same thing we do with these athletes. You're not doing it for you. You're doing it for them. So the big thing I say, and I know what the question was asking, big thing for weight strength coaches, on the field coaches, player director, developer, spend time. It ain't how it's gotta be, happy do Ray, spend time building relationships with your players. Real relationships. Not, I was hard on when I was a strength coach. I mean, I got better from Clark Atlanta, from Cheney to Miami. I got better. Even in Miami, some guys still tell me stories. I'm like, I don't think I was that hard, but I probably was. But now in this role, looking back on it, that's the thing that can change. You ain't gotta be. I'm not gonna be your buddy. I'm not gonna be your friend. I'm gonna be your brother. I'm gonna help you out in every way aspect of it. So that's to build a relationship first, and you can do everything else you want to get done with.
Yeah, I think that's why strength coaches usually have some of the best relationships with athletes, is because that accountability piece has to be there to manage. To be one on 120, like
Yeah.
you have to have that,
It has to be done right too, though, right? It can't just be like just grind, and then there's no flip side of it. Hey, now let's talk about what you was going through, what you was thinking about mentally, what made you do why were you late? Now you got to now tell me why you were late. Let's hear it out. Let's talk about it. So
Yeah, I think, there's so many times like coaches that were in our, organizations, they would see like I would have to run a kid for discipline or whatever. Sometimes it wasn't even anything that had to do with the weight room.
yeah.
They still get thrown that as the strength coach.
Oh yeah.
And, a lot of times I would run it with them, or I'd do, or at least do part of it with them so that you can have that conversation, right?
Conversation
Why,
with
what,
them.
what happened? Like, why did you do this? Like, when you do those things, like, there is 9 times out of 10 that kid's giving me a hug and telling me he loves me at the end of
Exactly
at the
right.
end of a punishment. And coaches don't, so many people don't understand that, but it's like you've got to get in there, you've got to ask questions, and that's probably the easiest way. That's probably the best tactic. Just ask questions. Don't try to coach them. Don't try to give them your opinion. Just ask questions as to what their rationale is, and then maybe give them a counterpoint of view.
There you go. JT was the heart man. We have players to this day that have played off 10 years in the NFL that are terrified when JT walks in the room because they never got a chance to know him. They never, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, he was hard. Whatever we did wrong, end of the day, if a minute late, guess what? You're late. It didn't matter what the explanation was. You were late. They talked to you about why the time management was important, why you are going through what you're going through. And now here's what you're going to do to make that up. Now, all right, so you wasted our time, now you're going to get our time back. But it was explained. That's the same approach I take today and deal with a young man yesterday about, just paying rent. Here's why you got to pay your rent on time. Here's why, now you're giving money away, getting speed, everything. The process of, to them, like, oh, it's just $2,100 because they have it now. No, let's take this $2,100 that you're giving away, you'll never see again, and let's put it into these investments right here and watch what happens to you in 4 years. Watch it grow. Now, I'm like, oh man, really? I can do that? Well, you can go buy your T-shirt press machine. Go make you a T-shirt. Now you're getting more money on top of your money. It's just taking the time to talk to these guys and explain to them the whys, the hows, the whens. But at the same time, while we're explaining to you, we'll be held accountable for what your actions are. You called it, you did it, so this is what we're going to do for that.
Yeah, I couldn't agree anymore. When you write a book, you go through kind of a self reflection,
Yeah.
right? Like, what was the biggest thing that you took away from writing this book that you learned about yourself?
Resilience, man. I'm looking at this, man. I'm looking at today's game, how many people would quit through that stuff, bro. I'm like, and I'm looking back, I'm like talking to my buddy Spice today about this. Like he's, just reflecting on, my mom and all my mom passed, and he's like I did all that. Like I'm looking at now, like this is crazy. Like some people just like to go through that on your own. It was nothing at the time. It was just what you had to do. But now look back on it, I don't know too many people that would do it. So resilience, I'm like, and just thinking about it right now, like that whole like my summer, my last summer at Penn State before I played my last year, I had to take 27 credits. 27 credits to get a degree. But if I didn't get it, I would go supplemental draft. Getting my degree was one of the best things I did because I'm a lifelong learner now. I'm working on my doctoral degree here, University of Nebraska. All my degrees are paid for. No, but I just look at resilience. That's a lot, big dog. Not to brag but you asked me the question, look back on, I'm like, man, that's crazy. Like my daughter, she's 25. Her boyfriend read it. He's like, dang, your dad went through all that. And she's like, we didn't know either. We were there. It was just like day by day. We were just living life, but just resilience.
I need to take that page out of it. I need to make my kids' significant others read my book.
But yeah. Oh, I'll put it in their hands. Hey, go read my daughter. You taking this? Shoot, my older daughter got married this summer. My book released July 3rd, but when we got down to the wedding, that's what I gave him. He read it. He read the whole thing a couple times. Lots of notes in it. Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I think it's so important. I think it is. I think there's a lot of coaches out there that have a book in them. I think one of the things that you had said by journaling, I think that's another very important skill that people need to develop, right? Even if I just gave this advice to my daughter the other day about, even if it's at the end of your night, you just open up a note on your phone and you type, what made this day memorable?
That's it.
And you just for 5 minutes, you just what made today memorable? And if you just reflected on that, like the gratitude that comes with that, the self-reflection that comes with that, all those things are important. But, when you write a book, I think it is something that there's a tremendous amount of pride in, but it is a self-discovery process.
My goodness, so much, and you don't get everything. It was 15 chapters in this one. It was bigger. And talking to my publisher, we pulled some stuff out, set some future projects coming up, which I do have another one coming up, which is geared towards strength coaches. Actually, some of the questions we talk about now, a lot of stuff's in that book, and just sharing personal stories with, some self-reflection, dealing with athletes and dealing with coaches are in that book, and it's clean. And at the same time, just about the journaling thing. People think when you journal, it has to be a lot. Like, no, it just can be a one-liner. It can be one line. And if you're a coach or a strength coach and you're working this profession, you're that person. Hopefully you work yourself to be that person where everyone in that building is coming to you with their issues or with their solutions, or they want you to give them a solution. They want to just vent to you. There's a lot you're pouring in. The overflow effect could be you writing down in your journal. just getting it out your system, because that's a lot to take on. When you're a strength coach, I don't care what level you're at, what level you're working in, that's it. That's the most important role in the building, I believe. So you should put yourself in a position where everyone in that building wants to come talk to you and tell you everything and just help you out. And maybe you don't have to have that answer all the time. You can just listen. Just listen, and then maybe a day or two later, write it down, come back with a solution. Or come back with a, hey, how you feeling? Or, hey, what's going on? That's my thing now. No one walks past my office without, you see everybody, I'm looking up because everybody's walking in the door. No one walks past my office without speaking or saying hello. And I want to be that guy when I'm walking down the hall. Like, I am that guy when I'm walking down the hall, when people see Gus, like, oh man, that was Gus. Versus, oh man, here go Gus. Like, that's a big difference.
No
And
doubt.
that's what I am at. Every place I go into, when you see me walking down the street, oh man, there go Gus. Oh, there go Big Dog. Put yourself in a position to be that. But at the same time, don't stray away from doing your job and doing your job well. Building men, building bodies, building minds, and that's what strength coaches do. That's why I love what you're doing with this CEO Strengths Pod thing. Everybody need to get on there to watch it and learn from it. Get a notepad and write some stuff down and ask questions. Remember I used to email you back in the day, man? I used to email you and write you, man. Like, and my man Ryan would always write back. He was in the Cincinnati Bengals. He would always write back. I'm at Clark Lane University. Come on, man. Some of y'all dudes now think y'all too cool to say hi to somebody. Unbelievable.
I think I appreciate that. Well, at least it's a good segue into my next question, because young strength coaches that are attacking this field for the first time, that want to be better leaders, but want to be better more than just a technician. But the truth is like, you went to school for exercise science, you went to school for biomechanics, you went to school for whatever. You didn't go to school for organizational leadership, group dynamics, or those types of things. And so, like, what advice do you have for coaches to grow as a leader and to be able to develop those soft skills, like building relationships and those things?
Yes, sir. And it's simple, and it goes back to relationship. What I did in my room, and I have to do it right here, right now. Every morning, interns, whoever, what we do, I always open up to the floor, let everybody get a chance to speak. I give every intern an opportunity to speak one day at a time. Every day we rotate who was talking. So I give my guys some transferable skills while they're on a job. So first, I allow them to see me do it. None of my interns went out there and clean without me being out there with them first. I don't just make it with them, and that's part of the job, but they don't go out there and do that. And I'm out there with them. We're talking. We're doing live sessions. We're training. We're going through. We teach them. You can teach them what you want to do in the room, but let's teach them how to be coaches and people. I didn't hire anyone. None of my interns. They're all my guys at Florida, Texas Tech now, guys over here, Eagles. They're all over the place. They had to go learn some practical, get a practical training. They had to go get a USCW. You had to go out and work with live subject. They just dropped a bunch of chairs out there. You had to go. But one thing I did in-house is that I opened my doors for conferences. We had like this right here, the CEO chalk talk, whatever. We had sessions like that. Remember, you've seen us in my office. We hang out, we talk. All those guys are successful in their own way at different levels of strength training. But one thing they learned, and we talk about it all the time, is that I put them in position to speak. I put them in position to teach. I didn't just talk to them. I didn't just talk at them. I allowed them to feel like they were involved. I asked them questions. You had to have input. Call JT, call Vic, call them. I remember kicking everybody out of my room one time. I'm on the board. We're planning for the spring, and I'm asking questions. Everybody's looking at me. I said, oh, y'all can get out there. If y'all want to help me, y'all don't have no input. Like, this ain't just me. This is us. If you have nothing to say, get out. I do it myself. Kick them all out.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You know, so I gave them the floor. I gave them the chance to show and add value to what we were doing. But every morning we did Devo. Every morning, it's in my book, the new book, Strength and Leadership. We did devotionals every morning, and it wasn't just Gus talking to him. I was going to give you a scripture, but I gave you a chance to talk about whatever you want to talk about. You can come in and talk about what's happening in the news, but it was your chance on the floor before we start the day to talk to the entire group, stand up and talk to everyone about whatever you want to talk about. And what was so unique and fun about that, by the end of that year, end of the semester, everyone was talking scripture. Not doing to me, it just was which they were led to do. But also every Friday, y'all can take this and use it. And I put it in my book as well, man. Every Friday, especially in season, the best time of the year when we train the 9 travel guys, at the end of that last session, I got all types of snacks and coffees and donuts coming in, and we're sitting there. Talking about watching JT laugh like he never laughed before, putting YouTube videos on, watching just funny skits, and we're doing riddles. We're doing like before internet took a bit. We're doing like cracker challenges. You got to eat 6 crackers in 1 minute. Like, we were having some fun in the room. And after the game Sunday night, I took the whole staff over to a cigar lounge. So it was I'm always doing something with my guys to help not just build them and teach them, but I put them in a position where we can talk and fellowship at the same time.
Yeah.
Every session we had was involved us laughing, fellowship, and the talking, and every of course every holiday where I make sure that I had something available for my guys to do to come and eat.
Yeah, that was always the hardest part for me, the fellowship part, because I mean, I think I've even talked to you about this in the past, but like I'm on the autism spectrum, so like I'm always mission focused, like I'm laser focused on improving, and there's zero time for everything else, right? And so, like early in my career, I had to force myself to do the things that you're talking about with the players. We literally, I used to do a. This is something I want to make sure that when these episodes were given tactical suggestions, like I took those old medical folders that you would get, where like your medical charts would be in, and I sent those off to get printed. And I would have, I think it was 200 questions that were just random, like, what's your favorite color? What's your favorite movie? What's your favorite, whatever. And in those folders would be their workout history, like their workout cards. And we would just hole punch it, put it into folders. And so I kind of always had them. And if a player was walking by, I would grab that folder. And that was our job each year, was to fill those questions up as a staff.
Yeah,
And so I'd just, hey, come on in. What's your favorite movie? And we would talk about that movie. And 9 times out of 10, I never watched it,
yeah.
but I'd be like, I
It
don't
was a
watch that.
conversation piece. It was a conversation piece.
And it broke the ice, right? And then, you did that with your staff as well. And I think, again, when you're in that job, it's hard, right? Because you're working 16 hours a
You're
day,
there all day.
you're getting pulled a million different ways, but you have to find those moments,
Yeah.
develop those kind of relationships that you're talking, because that's what really allows you to take them to that next level.
And think about how much more, how much happier it was to. We all have issues. You all have stuff that come up. You know what I'm saying? There's gonna be some hard conversations, but at the same time, respect comes into play. Then your anger goes out the window. Because you're looking at somebody else. All right, I can be upset with them. We can agree to disagree, but at the same time, the respect level is there. Like I talk to Miguel almost every day. That's my guy, one of the smartest strength coaches. All you coaches out there, y'all looking for a strength coach. Y'all looking for somebody to run your thing. Miguel Rivera, he's at University of Penn. He probably get mad I'm saying this. And he's killing it. And he's been there for since he left Miami. He probably got one of the strongest teams in America right now. I stand on it and say that because he does it right. And the man is outstanding. But we had some hard conversations, but it was growing. It was help both of us grow, help all of us grow. But at the same time, when it's time to fellowship and have a good time, we had a good time. I took my staff down to the Keys every year I was at Miami. At Georgia, I always had barbecues and stuff cooking out. At Carolina during COVID, I was that guy that everybody come to and hang out. That's what it's about. Me and Jeremy in his backyard, smoking a cigar or building a Lego set. But we had a great time. And I didn't, you don't have to be a head strength coach to push these ideas. Just make it happen because you guys are there so much all day, every day. Here's one thing too, and I may split everybody worth it. Don't come because of my title. Come because you genuinely want to have fun and be there. You don't show up just to show up because of what my title is. No, I want you to come because you know what, man, I'm going to hang out with Gus. That's what I want, not because of what my title is. Don't go stay home.
Well, man, we end the show with some quick resources here. So just quick answers. What's one mistake you see young coaches make?
Taking themselves too serious. Ego.
If you could shadow any coach for a week, who would it be and why?
Mark Richt. His integrity, his standards, his way he lives, how he operates, how he taught me how to be the coach of the day with just his cool, calm demeanor, but he didn't play around. But he loved everybody. So Mark Richt.
What's a book or resource that you have revisited the most in your career?
The Bible. And that's the honest. I know it's the no, the Bible. I have two of them. I guess I get a new one because my other one, this one here, is so beat up and battered. It's falling apart. It's falling out of the sleeve. So I just this year got a new one, and this is the holy grail to me, the Bible.
Yeah. Best piece of advice you received in coaching?
Treat your players how you want to be treated. If you're a coach, you treat your players how you would want to be treated as a player. Don't forget where you come from. You were once in those shoes. Don't get, like I said, don't allow your title or your job title, your logo or your pay scale, create a monster that you're not. And it's happening too much around the world.
Fantastic piece of advice right there. Last one, just where can people stay up with you, get the book, do all those things?
All right, so I'm gonna give you the link to provide. I just got my first website put up for my book. I've seen the link. I don't have it memorized, but it's like Big Dog at Booksy. But at the same time, the link is in all my social media platforms. It's Coach Felder. So Coach Felder on Instagram. It's Coach Felder on Twitter. I can't change it. Once they give you that little check, you can't change from Coach Felder. I keep it that way. I'd rather be Gus Big Dog, but I got to keep it as Coach. But yeah, the links in the bio, in all my bios in there. I'm more excited about you getting an opportunity to allow the book to bless you, and you can use it and apply it and share it. And I'm excited about that. Yeah,
I said at the beginning, well, you're a guy that walks the walk each and every day, and you just got to spend 5 minutes with you to see that. But man, I appreciate what you do, how you do it, and just the person that you are, brother.
I appreciate you, man. Keep this thing going. I'm glad it's back.